Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Compound Effect, How Small Actions Create Big Results. I'm your host, and today we're going to explore one of the most powerful principles that governs not only your finances, but also your habits, your health, your relationships, and even your career. Compounding. You've heard the term. Most people associate it with money, and rightly so. But the power of compounding goes far beyond just interest rates and investments. It's a force of nature. It's how mountains are formed, how knowledge is accumulated, how skills are mastered, and how empires, financial or personal, are built. So, sit back, relax, maybe grab a notebook, and get ready to change the way you look at time, growth, and success. Let's begin with a quote to set the tone. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. Albert Einstein. Let's start with the basics. What is compounding? In simple terms, compounding is the process where the value of an investment increases because the earnings on an investment, both capital gains and interest, earn interest as time goes on. This effect causes wealth to grow faster. Now let's break that down. Imagine you invest $1,000 at an interest rate of 10% per year. At the end of the first year, you have $1,100. In the second year, you don't just earn 10% on your original $1,000, you earn it on the entire $1,100. So now you get $110 instead of $100. At the end of year 2, you have $1,210. This continues, and each year, your investment earns more than it did the year before, not because you're putting more money in, but because the money that's already there is working harder and harder. Now, this is a simple example using money, but the same logic applies to many areas of life. Let's say you decide to read 10 pages of a book every day. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but after 1 month, you've read 300 pages, maybe a full book. After 1 year, you've read 12 or more books. And here's where the magic happens. The knowledge from those books begins to compound. One idea builds on another. You start seeing patterns. You apply things faster. You think better. That's intellectual compounding. Let's go back to the most talked about area where compounding shows its strength, personal finance. Let's compare two people. Person A starts investing $500 per month at the age of 25 and stops at age 35. That's 10 years of investing. They invest a total of $60,000. Person B waits until they're 35 to start. They invest $500 per month until age 60. That's 25 years. A total investment of $150,000. Assuming an average annual return of 10%, person A ends up with more money than person B. Why? Because person A gave compounding more time to do its work. This shows us that time in the market is more important than on timing the market. The earlier you start, the better, even if it's with small amounts. So if you're listening and you haven't started investing yet, today is the best day to begin. Now let's move into how compounding affects our habits and personal growth. Let me ask you this. What's easier, going to the gym once for 3 hours or going every day for 20 minutes? Most people think the 3-hour session is better because it feels intense. But the real growth comes from consistency. If you go every day for 20 minutes, you build a routine. Your body adapts. Your identity shifts. You become someone who works out. That small, consistent effort compounds over time into better health, more energy, and more confidence. This applies to habits like journaling, meditating, waking up early, practicing gratitude. Even a 1% improvement every day adds up to almost 38 times improvement in a year. That's the compound effect. In business and your career, compounding shows up as the result of learning, networking, improving systems, and building reputation. Think about content creators. Their first videos might get a few views, but they keep showing up, They improve their editing, their storytelling, and over time, the algorithm begins to favor them. Their subscribers compound. Their reach compounds. Same in a career. You show up, do a good job, and over time, people trust you more. You get opportunities. You're recommended. Your network grows. That's compounding. Small actions like replying to emails promptly, taking notes, asking questions, helping others, it all adds up. Let's take a moment to look at a few real-life examples. Warren Buffett. Most of his wealth came after the age of 50. He started investing at age 11. It took decades for compounding to do its magic. Today, he's worth over $100 billion. Not because of high returns, but because of time and consistency. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. He talks about how small changes in behavior compound into massive improvements over time. His blog, initially small, eventually became a best-selling book. That's compounding. YouTubers, entrepreneurs, authors, athletes. The path to greatness is rarely about big leaps. It's about small steps repeated daily. Compounding doesn't care if it's working for you or against you. Bad habits compound too. Skipping workouts, overspending, procrastinating, eating junk. These choices seem harmless today, but over years, they lead to health issues, stress, and debt. So be intentional. What are you compounding every day? Are your actions building you up or breaking you down? As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to reflect on this. What is one small thing you can start doing today that, if repeated daily, would change your life over time? Because here's the truth. The power of compounding rewards, patience, discipline, and consistency. It doesn't care how smart you are. It cares how long you stay in the game. So whether it's investing, learning, building habits, or improving relationships, start small, stay consistent, and trust the process. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Compound Effect: How Small Actions Create Big Results. Until next time, keep growing, keep compounding.